my good friends, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here with just a quick tag video. This is called the Ringing in the New Year's book tag, and this was done by the blog called Bookmark Chronicles. I will leave a link to the tag in my thing in case you'd like to look at that, maybe do it yourself. The first question is the best book or series that you read in 2020. One of my very favorite books of last year was The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This was a story, oh my gosh, it was so insane and good. This was about a group of indigenous Native American men who 10 years previously had kind of done something not so good on a hunting trip, and now on the 10-year anniversary of that not good thing that they did, there is like this elk spirit haunting them, and it is so sad and horrific, and there's so much emotion in this book. I think there's 4 men, if I'm remembering right, but each of these 4 men gets like their own little part of the story, and each one is just so well fleshed out, and it's like, it feels like these are real people, and I don't know how the author did it. He is a magician. It was great. It was a super sad, horrific book. The next question is authors that you've recently found and would like to read more of in the new year. Off the top of my head, it would definitely be some of the small press authors that I've discovered myself this year. I mean, I'm not saying that they're like debut authors, I guess. I mean, first one, Max Booth III. I read his book, We Need to Do Something, which was horrible and intense and so good. I'd also love to read more by Samantha Koilesnik. I read her book, True Crime, which was equally just like devastating and so compelling. Also, Laurel Hightower, and let's see, I read Crossroads by her last year, which was very full of grief. Like all of these books really deal with like grief and horror, and were so well done, and I just love to read more by all 3 of those authors, and I'm sure that there's more, but I think those are my top 3 at least. The next question is the most anticipated book turned movie, and I'm really not sure what's coming out this year. 2020 was such a strange year for the production of like TV and movies, because I mean, they couldn't do anything for a long time, and like maybe they still shouldn't be. I don't know. I guess I'm very interested in the Candyman remake, which is based off of one of Clive Barker's stories. The original Candyman is like one of my first favorite horror movies. It's one that my mom would let me rent from the video store when I was probably too young to be watching it. It's a great movie. I'm also excited about the new adaptation of Dune. Although I have not read Dune, I do plan on getting to it this year, hopefully before the movie comes out. And then also, there is an adaptation. I'm not sure if it's coming out this year, but I'm thinking it is, because I know like it's been filmed. And that is the adaptation of We Need to Do Something by Max Booth III. Holy shit, this movie is gonna be fucking bananas. I can't wait. Can't wait. The next question, the next prompt is name a character you wouldn't mind sharing a kiss with at midnight. That would definitely be Ghost, the direwolf from last year. I finished up, or I caught up with the Game of Thrones books, so love to give that furry muzzle a smooch on midnight. What's on your TBR for 2021? A top 5 will suffice if it's an extremely long list. Whew, this is so hard to think about because there's just so many books I'd love to get to. I think one of my most various anticipated books is Tender as the Flesh by Augustina Bezterrica. I'd love to read Dune this year, as I said. I'm trying to visualize these stacks of books on my floor right now and think about what I'm very excited about. I know there's quite a few. I'm just having like a brain fart, but what else do I want to read? I recently heard someone talk about Midnight Rain by James Newman. I believe that this was on the Books in the Freezer podcast, like their most recent episode. Depending on when I edit this video, I guess, their most recent episode. And that's a book that I've had for a while because I really loved James Newman's book. Crap, why am I having such horrible bird brain today? The Wicked. And then I picked up Midnight Rain because I found it on sale. I found it like a cheap used copy of it. So I'd really like to get to that because I've heard that's great. Another one I'd really love to get to is The Shoemaker by Flora Rita Schreiber. That is about Joseph Callinger. But I think she kind of like zhuzhed the story up a little bit. Which it was like already kind of a bizarre story. And I can't, is that 4 or 5? Anyways, those are some that I'm very excited about getting to this year. How many books do you hope to read in 2021? I don't know. I'm beyond the point, not that I think other people shouldn't have goals like that, but for myself, I'm kind of beyond that point because I feel like it just encourages me to read shorter books instead of getting to some of the big chunky boys that I own and I know I'm going to love. So I'm trying not to care about how many. As many as I can read, I suppose, is how many I want to read. Will you participate in a Goodreads reading challenge or any others? I suppose, yeah, I set a Goodreads goal of 85. However, like I said, I'm not really too caught up on that. I think that is probably something I will be able to get to, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it or get to the end of the year and be like, I only need to read graphic novels or anything like that. I'm just trying to go with the flow and read what I want to read. And then finally, are there any New Year's resolutions, bookish and otherwise? One of my otherwise ones is to try to stay off of fucking Facebook because it is literally just a dumpster fire and I find myself mindlessly scrolling too often, way too often, and I'd like to just like not. I'm trying to carefully consider what I do in my free time, I guess, because I have lots of different hobbies. I love playing video games. I taught myself last summer how to crochet, so like I'm doing that. I love to read, obviously. I love movies and TV shows. And so sometimes it's hard to, you know, find the time for that stuff because there's only a finite amount of time that I have free time. So I'm trying to kind of, you know, maybe read a little bit less in this coming year so that I can have a little more time with some of my other hobbies. And then as far as book goals go, I made a whole video about that I will leave in the description. If you're curious, there are some, it's not a very long video. So that is the Ringing in the New Year book tag. Like I said, the link to the blog I found this on is in the description. Thank you all so much for watching and I will see you guys later.